called NN07, and it is the Piet front zip sweater. So this is slightly different from the other outerwear, knitwear we were talking about earlier, because this, instead of a button front, this is a zip up front as well. So if you're someone that's more partial to a zip clasp mechanism, then maybe this would be more up your street. And again, it's quite streamlined. It certainly doesn't really leave much to the imagination. If you're someone that maybe does prefer a slightly relaxed fit, then maybe some of the other products that we mentioned earlier would be, or garments rather, would be slightly more to your benefit. But this certainly is a little bit more closer to the body. That's actually not necessarily a bad thing, because if you think about it in regards to thermal wear, you know, thermals generally are supposed to be worn tight around your body, and that's to be able to retain the heat from the skin. So that's why nowadays a lot of clothing as well is slightly more streamlined and has a bit more of a silhouette to it. And the idea is that, yeah, you're going to be wanting to retain that heat. This is a crazy one, but it's not navy for a change. This is actually grey. It's a light grey. And light grey, like this chap here is wearing in the picture, you could wear with a darker bottom. So he's got some black pants on, but you could certainly wear it with a darker denim as well if you see fit, or maybe even a darker grey. I personally wouldn't go down the darker grey route. I would go down more of the sort of darker black hues, darker denim in regards to that. So again, I think it's a very smart look, and a lot of these cardigans as well, you can sort of wear them for work and play. You know, cardigans generally were always seen to be a little bit more formal wear, a little bit smarter, but that's not necessarily to say that you can't wear it on a date or a night out at a bar with some friends. I would certainly recommend that as we sort of head into autumn and fall. And maybe if you're going upstate, or you're going, you know, into the woods, then you can't go wrong with a good cardigan as well. Certainly part of that sort of aesthetic and look. So I think I'm going to go over once again all the products that we listed on today's show, if you're okay with that, because we are coming towards an end. So I've got to kind of wrap up a bit. Bear in mind, guys, I know I keep repeating this, but any questions, any comments, please do let me know. I'm here for the next 7 minutes on the Verishop live stream app. So we talked about the normal brand. We had 2 products on today's show from those guys. It was the Seawool net cardigan with the front pockets. It's navy. It does have a slight texture to it. Sorry guys, I'm going to take a quick tea break here. Oh gosh, I do, as always, have a cup of tea at hand with me. As you know, regular viewers will know that I always have a tea. Sometimes, if I'm feeling wild, a coffee, but it does certainly help to wet my whistle. Sorry, so we were talking about the normal brand Seawool net cardigan, and it does have front pockets to it. It's a navy color, and it does have a slight sort of like mottling texture to it. But as I said, if you click on that product and zoom in, you can sort of view that texture if that is up your street. We talked about the Robert Button front cardigan, also from the normal brand. It does have a high collar. It comes with patch pockets. And again, it's slightly more of a refined look than the Seawool net cardigan. I would say the Seawool net cardigan has more of a relaxed fit to it, whereas the Robert Button front cardigan has a little bit more of a refined silhouette, I would say. Very similar to the product that I currently have on screen now. We talked about Norse Projects. Again, they are a Danish brand, Danish menswear brand, and they have featured on various live stream shows that I've done previously before. And again, they seem to have quite a number of products on the Verishop site. So do go on their brand, their label page, and check out, because there's a number of products there that I quite like the look of as well, that maybe hopefully I can feature in shows further down the line. So that is the Norse Projects Adam Light Merino cardigan. It is 5-button front, and that is a dark navy. We talked about the, and again, I don't know if I'm getting this. I don't know. I don't want to mispronounce the brand, but I'm going to say Baldwin. But if it's without the A's and the E's, then it will be BLDWN. So don't hold me on that, guys, but I believe it's one or the other. And that is the Glen Rib knit cardigan. And it is a long sleeve, and it is made of, as we spoke about earlier, 100% merino wool. And as again I mentioned, just a little caveat, a little warning there. I'm saying whatever you do, put that in a hot wash, because you're not going to be a happy man after that, because I've done that numerous occasions and times before. I actually something quite recently where I did have a wool jumper. It's a white wool jumper, and lo and behold, obviously I was at dinner, and I actually for once I don't think I spilt red wine on it. I think someone else spilt red wine on my jumper. So it's fine. It happens, of course. If you're going to be wearing lighter colours, especially white, then eventually it's bound to happen. Certainly for me, I'm quite clumsy. And a girl I know, she goes, "Oh, here, give me the jumper. I'll sort it out." And stupidly, she obviously puts it in the washing machine on a high temperature, and the stain came out. But unfortunately, the size was probably about 5 times too small for me. It was basically going to be almost like a crop top. So lo and behold, unfortunately had to chuck that. But so please be careful, especially with wool, especially with merino wool, because merino wool is slightly more expensive as well. So you don't want to be making those mistakes. And the last product that we talked about today was the NN07. That's the brand, and it's the Piet front zip sweater. Again, this is slightly different from the other garments that we were talking about earlier, because this has a zip frontage rather than a button frontage. And again, this doesn't have pockets, so if you're not a fan of the old patch pocket, which I am, I'll be honest with you, then maybe this would be slightly more for you, because it does have more of a streamlined silhouette frame to it. I think out of today's garments, I think my favorite is probably going to be the seawool net cardigan. Yeah, that's it for me. I think the normal brand one, out of the 5, that would be, for me, I think the most practical. I could see myself wearing that with a number of different other sort of garments I have in my wardrobe. Certainly a lot of jean wear I could pair that with. As I said, navy is always a very accessible, applicable color. So guys, this sort of almost wraps up today's show. So if you do have any questions in the comment box below, please do let me know about any or anything we've talked about, even over the last 15 weeks, whatever you got for me. I mean, hopefully I've been able to retain some of this knowledge myself, because it certainly has been a bit of a learning curve. It's almost been a university course in fashion history onto itself. But today's show was on the history of knitwear, and of course, we did speak about James Thomas Bridernell, who was the 7th Earl of Cardigan, and that's where we get the name cardigan from. Interesting, actually, just before you go, the colour magenta was named after the 1859 Battle of Magenta, which was a very bloody battle. So that's a little fun fact for you. And also the term balaclava, which I know in the US people don't really know what I talk about when I talk about balaclava, but I mean a ski mask here. So the term balaclava originated again from another war, which I believe was in Italy at the same era and the same time. So it's quite interesting that there's sort of almost loan words that were used for the invention of these garments. And they're all knitted garments, because a lot of this war was fought quite fraughtly in the winter time. So therefore, the invention of the cardigan and the balaclava or ski mask, that's how it sort of came about. And of course, they accredited the location and the battle to the garments. So even today, these battles do live on, but they live on, thankfully, in a slightly more nicer way in our outerwear and menswear. So, guys, this wraps up today's show on the Verishop live stream app. Thank you once again for joining in. As I said, all the products that we have featured is that extra 15% off live deal from the original retail price and the original sale price after that if they are on sale. Once again, thank you very much for being with me on a short history of, and I hope to see you again in the very near future. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye for now.